Things are definitely ramping up in Higehiro. Just got done with the 7th episode of the series, and this is my thoughts on the series so far. A majority of this episode really did seem like it was focused around Mishima as she was starting to begin to get a little concerned with Yoshida's relationship with Sayu. And she kind of goes out there and grabs Goto, takes her out to, or goes to lunch together with her, and really kind of throws it at Goto like, what do you feel about this Sayu girl? Are you really okay with the idea that these two might possibly get together? And of course, at this point, it's starting to hit that area of, yeah, this writer's already really starting to push this idea. Now, granted, if he goes that direction, that's the big question mark. It could just be yeah, you do technically need to address this concept. What do others around think of this, and do they believe that there would be a relationship there? But, yeah, Goto kind of seemed like, I'm thankful that the fact that Goto really does kind of seem to be sticking to her guns. As we kind of had mentioned before, Goto felt that she didn't want to pursue a relationship with Yoshida at that particular time because something didn't feel right to her. And that seems to be equal in this situation where, Mishima is saying, look, you're going to lose Sayu. You like him, don't you? You're going to lose him to Sayu. And she's like, if that happens, that happens. You can't force that relationship to go the direction you want. The feelings are going to go the direction that it wants, and me stepping in there and stopping it is not going to change anything. Eventually, it's going to go back to where it was. And I do respect that about Goto. I mean, I know that my brother has his issues with her, coming out and saying, look, I didn't really have a relationship for 5 years. I made that up because I didn't feel like it was the right time. And I was perfectly fine with it. And I think this is a point in which you kind of still see that in her, that she really does kind of, it does seem like she feels like she believes in fate. Like she believes that stuff is meant to happen when it's supposed to happen, and rushing it or allowing it to happen when you don't feel it's right doesn't work out in the end. So obviously there's something in there that she believes that is the right path to take, even though Mishima is like, you're just making up excuses, basically. You don't really believe that. But like I said, I gain a little bit more respect for Goto in this episode just because she really does. Yeah, we could have like a later point where she realizes, recalling back to that conversation, I was in the wrong and I really do not like this. But I did like that she stuck to that concept that she's already kind of established before. But yeah, of course, Mishima, at this point, Mishima's cute, and I do feel for her. Like I said before, this story has the two kind guy syndrome in it, which is that storyline where one guy's a really nice guy, a bunch of girls realize how nice he is, and all but one's going to get their heart broken unless somehow they decide to go harem round, which they never technically do go into, even though they want to play off of it. But yeah, she's obviously, she asked for, because everybody else has his phone number, obviously asked for his phone number, confessed her love right there next to the street, put it out there. He seemed not very much fazed by it, and I have to say at this point, I don't like Yoshida. Like, that was a pinnacle point right there that he should have said something. Because now it feels like he's leading her on. Like, this was a good point for Yoshida to say, look, I'm sorry, Mishima. I respect you as a coworker. I think you're a good person, but I'm not interested. Or something. Him not saying anything at that point right there where she confessed, he is now leading her on. Now, granted, if he's feels that, I mean, it didn't have any indication in there that he felt like, I do kind of like Mishima. Maybe I see where this goes. It was nothing like that. It was, oh, shock, you said that to me. Okay, well, have a nice day. This is not a good path. This is a path that's going to lead to you leading her on and her getting her heart broken. Be very clear. Say, look, I don't have any interest. Say something in repliance to it. But no, we're just gonna lead it on. We're just going to make this a love triangle that will just keep going until the emotions ramp up. I dislike it. I'm sorry. That's my conclusion. I dislike this aspect. I like Mishima. She's cute. She seems a very overbearing, but she's forward. She wants something. She's going after it. but still, I hate that this is a lead-on. You kind of lost a lot of respect for Yoshida at that point. But anyways, outside of Mishima stuff, we did have Sayu. They were when she's at work, they're noting that this car keeps coming by the supermarket but never comes inside. At some point, finally, in the later parts, that person that kept driving by was a driver. The driver gets out, lets somebody out. It ends up being Sayu's brother. A little bit of respect for the guy that I hate that was pushing himself on Sayu for actually protecting her. They're trying to redeem him. They're doing a good job of it. I still hate his guts, but yeah, he kind of protected her and shoot her into the office while he kind of shooed the brother away. But they're establishing at this point where, Sayu, stuff's coming to a head at this point. At home, before this, we had Sayu and Yoshida had a little bit of a brief moment where they had a little bit of, oops, I fell on top of you moment and some blushing. That's where I said it's kind of starting to lead in that direction of like, is the writer going to go this direction? I'm very curious. I mean, granted, technically legal age, I mean, they can get to the point where it's consent, but it's still, again, that it gets in that age gap area, which is very questionable, obviously. So that's there. I did like that quite a few points in this episode. They did have Sayu kind of establishing that she is looking to her future. She's no longer looking back. She's looking forward. Really getting in on this idea of having a normal life. We had quite a few shots of Sayu just, having study sessions with Asami, just enjoying being a high schooler, which is fantastic. It is a little bit depressing to kind of see it coming to a point right now where it's going to get all kind of thrown on its head with the brother showing up. This is where it's going to get really difficult. I think that, like, I kind of mentioned with the past boyfriend of Sayu kind of giving up very easily, seemingly. And like I said, them trying to essentially redeem him as a character, or as a person. It's not really character. He's a character. But it seemed like it was a little too easy. Like, him giving up was a little bit too easy. But I guess, like I said, they kind of redeem it in the idea that that's just him as a person. He's very forward and very aggressive, but he realized he screwed up, and now he's kind of okay with the idea of Yoshida helping this girl. But it's not, I don't see it being as easy with the brother. If the brother finds out what's going on with Sayu and Yoshida, I don't see things ending as easily with that, unless the writer again makes it too easy. That's perfectly an option for the writer, but it's going to come to something very difficult here soon, and I'm really curious how the writer's going to handle that going forward. But yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what direction this goes and how that's going to be handled. I guess the only other thing we had is that Sayu did find an old album book of Yoshida when he was at school. Found out about this senpai that he knew from school that he was in a relationship with. It was kind of odd. When I seen the preview for that and I seen the picture, I'm like, well, they're going to bring this girl back, and they didn't really do that. So I guess they're foreshadowing something that will happen in the future. Maybe we'll have a point in which he runs into this particular woman. I kind of had a goofy thought that it was going to be Sayu's mom, but I'm like, if she didn't recognize her in that picture, I don't know, how it would be in place. But if it was Sayu's mom, then she would have to have been really young when she had Sayu, and yeah, like we're talking 12 or something like that. So I guess would be about the age that she would have to have Sayu for her to be this age right now. But yeah, that's just my goofy thought process running in random directions. But yeah, that's my thoughts on episode 7 and Higehiro so far. Like I said, I'm really curious how they're going to handle the brother situation. Obviously, it looks like the family has a lot of money. They're looking for Sayu. Again, she's kind of scared about going back home. She doesn't want to go back to that house right now. She said something like that. I don't want to go back there right now. Obviously, she has her crap in order. She's going towards something now. She has a focus. And this really looks like it's going to be a reset button for her that's going to be really dangerous. So we'll see where it goes. That's my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like down below if you did like this video. Comment, let me know what you thought of the episode. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video if you can. And I thank y'all for watching, and y'all take care.